Oh, they got him! They got Alpha character! Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey guys, my name's Dan. Today's reaction comes from Dead Meat. This is the guy who didn't like musicals 2018 kill count, and we've been seeing a lot of firsts for this channel recently. Saw a web series being covered, a video game, a set of music videos that were themed around horror movie characters, horror movies in general, and we have this fantastic musical right here. And I know normally I don't really talk about how I feel about a movie or TV show or whatever that we're covering until towards the very end of the video, but this is too good not to say anything about it. If you guys haven't seen this musical, please pause this video, go over to Team Starkid's channel. It's right there for you. Please check it out and then come back so we can enjoy this all together and we can see how this was made all together. But before we get into that though, please do check all those links I have for you down in the description below. More specifically, the Dead Meat channel. If you haven't already, it's a great way to support them, and a great and easy way to support me is by going right below this video, clicking all those buttons down there, because I would like to see future reactions that I do, but also helps my channel grow. And without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror media. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, first performed in 2018. The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals is a stage production, the first one ever covered on this show. It takes place in the small town of Hatchetfield as it's overtaken by an alien infection that turns the townsfolk into singing, dancing pod people. The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals is the 11th show by Starkid Productions, a group founded by brothers Nick and Matt Lang, Brian Holden, and Darren Criss. All four of them attended the University of Michigan, just like yours truly. In fact, Starkid was formed in 2009, during my sophomore year. I never saw any of their shows in person, which was dumb on my part in retrospect, but I distinctly remember the flyers for their second show me and my dick posted all over campus.
I love
Team
that.
Starkid really blew up when they uploaded their first show, a Harry Potter musical, to a nascent YouTube. They didn't even mean for it to be public, they just didn't feel like making DVDs for the cast. Thanks to Harry Potter hype around the 6th film, the video exploded in views, leading to sequels and a whole series of parody musicals. All of the 13 shows so far, and the 2 national tours, were co-written by Nick and Matt Lang, who I never knew in college. But I spoke to Nick ahead of this episode, and it felt like talking to an old friend. Must be that Michigan connection. Go Blue. The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals is the group's first foray into horror, and kicked off a multimedia, multiversal series, with each work honing in on a different subgenre. Tying them all together is their setting, the town of Hatchetfield. Guy is an original sci-fi horror story, though Nick's the first to admit it's hugely referential and influenced by tropes in specific films. Most notably, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The show ran from October 11th to November 4th in 2018 at the Matrix Theater in Los Angeles. The filmed version, uploaded in December that same year, was pieced together from 3 live performances and some pickups without an audience to get close-ups and more blood effects.
In the live show, you know, you can't have them spitting out blood and it'll leave it all over the place, and people slip on fake blood and things like that.
If you're a current or recovering musical theater kid, I highly recommend checking out the full production on YouTube. It's a loving tribute to horror with some hilarious people and impressively catchy tunes.
And even if you're like me, I don't like musicals either, and I absolutely love this.
Of course, the best way to listen to catchy tunes like those is with a good set of earbuds, like from today's sponsor, Raycon. Raycon is actually celebrating their 6-year anniversary soon, but we're also celebrating our 4-year anniversary of Raycon sponsoring the Kill Count. The first was way back in 2019's The Dentist. Remember those? So needless to say, any regular Kill Count viewer knows how much Chelsea and I love our Raycons. Thanks to their high quality audio, 32 hours of battery life, and perfect in-ear fit, my Raycon earbuds are my daily driver for listening to music and podcasts. Whether I'm working out, taking Molly on a walk, or just cleaning the house, or my David Bowie shoes. We love ours, and we're not the only ones. Raycon earbuds have 78,000 5-star reviews. And now is the best time for you to dive into the Raycon world yourself. To celebrate their 6-year anniversary, Raycon is offering 20% off site-wide, with select products even 40% off. What can you get site-wide? Of course, there's the tried and true sound offerings, from 4 types of earbuds to 2 types of headphones to a Bluetooth speaker. But this year, they've also expanded into Raycon Home and Raycon Power Tech. You can celebrate Raycon turning 6 at buyraycon.com/deadmeat and use code BIRTHDAY to get 20 to 40% off site-wide. That's buyraycon.com/deadmeat. Use them to listen to all the musicals you love. How many people will lose their musical minds in this curtain call of Cthulhu? Well, it's high time we find out, because the apotheosis is upon us.
Oh! Okay, let's dive in.
The musical begins, as most do, with an opening number.
It's a guy who didn't like musical.
Oh, and it's a title song! The
Yeah.
titular hater is Paul, played by John Madison, who lives in the small town of Hatchetfield. He's good at his job, but a bit lacking in people skills.
Were you gonna sign up for the company softball league?
No.
No.
Oh. Well, it might be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to,
No.
though.
His co-workers include sweater-weathered Charlotte, who's been struck with a case of Judy Garlanditis,
Don't you think I'm tired too?
office bully Ted, who's been struck with a case of mid-aughts humor,
My wife.
and Paul's best friend Bill, who's been struck with a case of being a lame dad to his teenage daughter Alice. She's been hanging out with the wrong crowd recently.
You're either in the smoke club or you're out.
God, I love Lauren Lopez's unhinged little double toe dance there. Bill hopes to be a cool dad by taking Alice out to a show.
The touring production of Mamma Mia!
He asks Paul if he joined them, but true to his nature, he declines, and instead heads to his local coffee shop. He's nursing a crush on one of the baristas, Emma, and it turns out they have a lot in common, since Emma hates the new Cold Stone-inspired tip for a song policy.
I mean, because if I have to sing for it, it's not really a tip, right? It's just like I have another shitty paying job on top of my already shitty paying job.
Though he's a bit awkward and she's quite feisty, their flirting is mostly successful. On his way out, Paul gets into a foreshadowy shouting match with a pushy Greenpeace girl.
And you come on a little strong with that whole save the planet bit, as if I'm gonna do that single-handedly.
Their argument is interrupted by a mysterious shape in the catwalk clouds. They see something coming from the sky.
What is that?
The whole affair is viewed all over town, including by Charlotte, who's having a whole affair with Ted. It's a fair affair, though, since Charlotte's cop husband Sam is shacking up with Emma's coffee shop co-worker Zoe. Looks like they're heading to Mamma Mia, both literally and, like, in bed. The next morning's news is abuzz with talk of alien meteors, but Sean Paul of the Dead here doesn't catch it.
And something else has fallen to the ground here in Hatchetfield, this time from outer space. The meteor can...
And change.
On his commute to work, he finds the townsfolk of Hatchetfield have come down with a jitterbug. They're singing and dancing about how good a day it is.
La-dee-da-da, la-dee-da-da, la-dee-da-da day. La-dee-da-da-day.
Hell, even this unhoused feller is apparently fine with his circumstances.
The world is my house. The dogs are my food.
The dogs are my food is a hilarious lyric to sing.
No.
Sorry, Molly.
No,
Feels
Molly!
Like it'd be a line
Don't
in
look!
Tim Robinson's skeleton song. La Di Da Da Day is my favorite number in the show. The chorus
It's a good
is
one.
infectious, no pun intended, with its cascade of time signatures.
La-dee-da-da, la-dee-da-da, la-dee-da-da day. La-dee-da-da-day.
I also love the underlying bass line,
Okay, thank you. Hey, thank you, God bless.
and the psychedelic guitar is a nice touch on top.
You sing a duet, dance a style or two, or a
Kind of sounds like
duet.
Shaft.
These people are all infected, meaning their human forms have been killed, so we can add 5 of these chorus line converts to the count. The
Okay.
Greenpeace girl, Joey Richter's vagrant, and 3 other townsfolk whom we saw in human form prior to their Broadway body snatching. We won't count the other 2 singers here because we never met those characters pre-infection. If you're new here, that might not make sense right away, but like think about all the zombie extras you see in zombie movies
Sure.
who we never knew as people. I
Sure.
ain't counting that shit. Paul gets to work and
That's
tries
fair.
to tell his coworkers about the freaky flash mob he saw, but he's pulled away for a meeting with his boss, Mr. Davidson, a guy who emanates manic Bill Lumberg vibes.
Uh-huh.
Turns out Mr. Davidson has also become part of the Alien Ensemble. In Office Space, no one can hear you scream. He pesters Paul in the form of a reverse I Want song.
What's that one concrete goal that motivates all your action?
I don't think I have one of those.
Well, then how's anyone supposed to sympathize with you, Paul?
What Do You Want, Paul is less of a big number and more of a comedy act, especially when it slows things down to explore what Mr. Davidson wants from his wife.
I want you to choke me while I jerk off.
Jeff Green's performance is hammy
good.
and over the top, but it wins me over because he's so committed to having such high energy. He's probably just eager to perform all these songs, since they're his. Blim wrote the music and lyrics for the show. It was his second time doing so for a Starkid show after the trail to Oregon, and he'd go on to write the music and lyrics for all of the Hatchetfield shows. Paul flees his boss and heads to the coffee shop, where he finds Emma with pep in her step.
Black coffee, I'm your coffee gal.
Calm down, Paul. She's just just following company policy, which now includes a whole song and dance number. She has to perform it with her 2 infected co-workers, Nora and Zoe.
Get your cup of roasted coffee, your morning cup of Joey.
This number is hilarious just because of how over it Emma is. Great physical comedy from Lauren Lopez again.
Decaf. What?
Yeah, just look how annoyed she looks at the whole thing. It's brilliant.
And we'll bring it right up. Oi, oi, oi!
Cup of Roasted Coffee is based on some song called Solid Potato Salad by the Ross Sisters.
Solid potato salad, boy. Take my plate, fill it up, and bring it right back.
But it also reminds me of You Could Drive a Person Crazy from Company.
You could drive a person crazy. You could drive a person mad.
Emma realizes something is wrong when the song continues past the choreography she learned. An even more telltale sign is when the cafe's customers start having black coffee coughs.
Oh no, there they go.
Blue coffee coughs. Go blue. The Poison patrons have joined the party, so Paul and Emma book it out of there.
What
They
happens
escape
when you
through
drink
the
too much
audience and
caffeine?
into a nearby alleyway, where they're reunited with and scared by Paul's co-workers.
You scared the shit out of us.
Well, how the hell am I supposed to pop out of a trash can and not scare the shit out of you?
They say
Fair
that
point.
downtown Hatchetfield's been overtaken by dancing. But don't worry, Charlotte's called her cop husband Sam to help. Too bad Sam's doing the cop rock by time he arrives, having already been infected.
Show me your hands, show me those jazz hands. Get 'em up, or you'll end up in cuffs.
He needs backup, and he gets it with 2 backup singers. But again, we never met them pre-infection, so they don't count. Show Me Your Hands is another Blim-led song with a lot of funny lyrics.
You better empty out all of them pockets, but don't empty out all of them pockets. Yeah, we're cops, and we make sense.
I love the part with layered singing that includes Robert Mannion wailing like a siren.
It's so good, yeah.
Mannion also adds a lot to this with his wild dancing. Yo, watch that lower back, dude. Ted the
Yeah,
Grouch
he's
manages to
backing it
take
up
Sam
there.
out with a garbage can lid, allowing the humans to gain the upper hand. It sends the other cops scrambling and, according to the YouTube captions, making alien/turkey noise.
I didn't even see that. He kind of
Trash
sounds
bashing
like
cracks
turkey.
open Sam's head, leaving his thin blue mind all over the floor. Wow, Blim had to have that thing under his hat for that whole number, huh? In order to study the Go Blue brain, Emma suggests they link up with her kooky community college instructor, Professor Higgins. What do they have, a Janet Weiss, Dr. Scott thing going on? We saw Higgins earlier when the meteorite came down, looking like Carl Sagan and channeling his best Doc Brown.
God,
And his best Doc Beetlejuice.
it's showtime.
He's currently listening to and getting quite excited about the news.
And no accessible means off the island.
Wait, Hatchetfield's an island? Did we know that already? We didn't, but it's
think
true.
so.
It's apparently an island in Lake Michigan.
It's basically up, near like.
Oh, there, I see.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of Mackinac, kind of up in there.
Emma shows up at the professor's door and introduces him to the rest of the cast.
This is Paul and them.
They restrain Sam with his own handcuffs, and the nutty professor gets candid with the cracked open cranium.
What the fuck is this shit?
He thinks the blue slime came from last night's meteorite, which crashed into the town Starlight Theater. We learned that from Bill earlier, since it foiled his daddy-daughter musical plans.
We get there, and the whole theater was exploded by a goddamn meteor! Mamma mia!
Yeah,
Luckily,
there it
Higgins
is.
has been hoarding supplies and preparing for this exact scenario.
Like exactly this?
Exactly.
That the world would become a musical.
You'd better believe it.
He's
Yup.
got to examine the blue shit in his laboratory, and the others tag along so they can get their drink on. They leave Ted and Charlotte behind to grope on each other right in front of a passed out Sam. Things getting a little Twin Peaksy in here. The guilt
bit.
gets to Charlotte, who can't shake her feelings for her husband, even though he's an alien cop. A ticked off Ted leaves her alone with the keys, which is when Sam wakes up and tries to win her over with Jack Torrance inspired pleas.
Charlotte, baby, I'm hurt real bad. I need a doctor.
Wendy,
There it is.
baby, I think you hurt my head real bad.
Ah, there it is.
Doctor.
It's not the only
Perfect.
time he sounds like the Shining
So
character.
good.
Charlotte, baby, apple of my eye.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
When he can't Nicholson and dime his way into her heart,
Pretty
he
close,
resorts to
yeah.
his trusty falsetto.
Charlie, you're breaking my heart, child. Got my feet to the fire. just let me go, and I love you.
The dirty dancing finally wins her over, but freeing her husband leads to him freeing her insides.
Oh.
Aw, he ruined her cat sweater.
Yeah,
and now
seriously,
he's got her intestines in his mouth, which is
Ugh.
kind of like a cat. Looks like Lucy with rainbow toy.
Aw.
The rest of the survivors are getting sauced on Higgins' doomsday hooch supply. Emma and Paul have a heart-to-heart where she reveals she hates Hatchetfield and only returned after the death of her sister. My favorite things about The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals are its songs and its comedy, but what anchors it is serious scenes like this one, featuring great actors performing the hell out of their characters. The moment is interrupted by Charlotte, who's been transformed into a blue belt and scream girl.
It is time to die!
Oh, so
Oh yeah,
good.
get it, Jamie Lynn Beatty.
Holding that
She
note.
and Sam sing a duet dedicated to everyone who doesn't think I should count infections as kills.
Join us and die.
Charlotte.
Join us and die.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? Join you in what?
And die.
Die.
Great, that's what I thought you said.
Yep.
They're rescued by Higgins, who tick-tick boomsticks the duo, but not before Charlotte can squeeze in a body snatcher reference. I'll see you in the ultimate Sutherland. Hell! The close call leads Higgins to getting all McCready on his guests.
So we're gonna have a little test to see who's still human and who's a musical doppelganger.
Is one of them gonna have to spend the rest of this musical tied to a fucking couch? Nope, they just have to sing Moana, and they do it poorly, so they're not
Yeah,
alien
very
things.
poorly.
Bill gets a call from his daughter Alice, who is currently trapped at Hatchetfield High with her girlfriend Deb. Ted tells him his daughter's probably dead, but Paul offers to go with Bill and save her. The shotgun can come too. On their way over, Bill gives Paul his sad dad backstory. Alice lives with his ex-wife in the neighboring town of Clivesdale. Ugh. He disapproves of her dating Deb, but not because she's gay. He just thinks Deb's a slacker. Bill's played by Corey Doris, who went to U of M the same time I did. I actually cast him in my awful junior year student film called The Foiling, about a dude who gets his TV stolen. I acted in it too, as a business student.
Oh,
That
damn.
wasn't good. But Corey, best actor in the whole thing, hands down.
I
Paul
believe
tries
it.
to offer Bill some comfort, but
He's
Alice
great.
is flexing her pod person pipes by the time they find her. Her backup singers include Deb and the Lauren Lopez stoner character we saw before, so they both go on the count too. The song Not Your Seed is a jazzy little number, driven by a piano and a hi-hat.
Not your seed.
What is going on?
I'm not your ACT.
The lyrics are both emotional and a great showcase of Mariah Rose Faith's vocal talents.
Did you know that I wanted to live with you?
Oh, yeah.
When you needed to bite, you gave her that too.
This was Faith's first Starkid show. The following year, she'd go on to play Regina George in the national tour of Mean Girls the Musical. This triple threat is too much for Bill to handle, who contemplates turning the gun on himself. Paul manages to talk him down, but Alice still takes aim and gives Bill a face full of buckshot.
Bye,
the
Bill.
alien hive mind is sick and tired of Paul, and tells him he will join them in perfect unison.
We have traveled across seas of stars, bounding.
Whoops.
Well, perfect unison after a little more rehearsal.
I'm here.
Before they can harmonize Paul into the hive, the army runs in and sends the infected folks scattering pew pew pew. Don't get too excited, Paul. These guys are indiscriminate.
Wait, I'm not one of them. I'm human.
Yeah, prove it, asshole. We're the army.
Paul wakes up later and meets General McNamara, head of an X-File hunting military unit called PEEP. You haven't heard of them.
Not a peep.
He's been given orders to wipe
Love that
Hatchetfield
line.
off the map, which includes killing any loose-lipped loose ends like Paul. McNamara's a Magnum Maverick though, so he offers Paul a deal. If his group can survive for 2 more hours, he'll send a rescue chopper to get them off this island. Armed with the American pastimes of guns and saluting, Paul sets off to retrieve his friends. Back at the bunker, Higgins and Emma are studying their alien specimens. Emma theorizes the infected townsfolk are being controlled by a central brain, and that destroying it might end the musical mayhem. Great plan, but Higgins is starting to sound a little off-Broadway in the head.
He could achieve what over 50,000 years of human civilization never could. World peace.
He sticks Emma in the neck with a needle. Nap time juice. He ties her up alongside Ted, whom she is not a fan of, since, to be fair, Ted's an asshole. But while their characters have a combative onstage relationship, Lauren Lopez and Joey Richter actually got married earlier this year. Joey's a longtime friend of ours, who once joined us on Drunk Disney to watch Lilo and Stitch. Professor Higgins has been drinking the Theater
that.
Kid Kool-Aid and thinks this alien invasion is the key to uniting the human race. Turns out he's always had a song in his heart, and he starts singing it in order to attract pod people to their location. Show-stopping number is another another one of my favorite songs, especially when the
so
drums
good.
kick in to join the piano part.
A show-stopping number is something you die for. A real
I love how committed he is to this.
I guess Higgins is more of a Dr. Frankenfurter than a Dr. Scott. Things go from Don't Dream It to Wild and Untamed Thing when Higgins wants to workshop a song from a musical he's been writing.
Do you mind if I give you the pitch?
We don't have time.
Fucking go for it.
The show is called
Just do
Working
it.
Boys and tells the story of old college chums reconnecting after they graduate to the business world. He gives an enthusiastic preview.
Business calls, I'm up to my ass in shit.
Yeah, very enthusiastic. He's
Biggest
all
laugh
about
of the
it.
show for me right there. But maybe that's just because I'm a sucker for business! Unsurprisingly, Higgins is writing from personal experience, and it's not long before his real-life but infected college chums come a-knocking. While Higgins leaves to toss the old pigskin, Paul sneaks in and frees his captive audience. They escape with the power of a scene change.
Should I take this chair?
Yes, I'll get the piano.
The professor returns to fulfill his show-stopping destiny, and he doesn't have to worry about choking on stage. He's already at the stage where he can yell, "Choke on him!" Having almost died, Ted decides to reconsider being an asshole all the time. He stops to make amends with Paul, but when a working boy attacks them, he abandons his redemption arc and his friends and runs straight to the chopper by himself. His celebration is cut short by a bullet, adding him and General McNamara to the count since we learned that that guy's been infected off-screen. He introduces Ted into the fold, and the United troops launch into a militaristic, very Trump-era tune.
America's great again.
But one last reminder that since we've never seen these other soldiers, they don't go on the count. You get it by now, right? Emma and Paul arrive and are quickly attacked by the Course front line. They manage to break free and get to the chopper, where Emma celebrates
Get to
not
the
dying in
chopper.
Hatchetfield.
Fuck you, Hatchetfield!
But this time, their helicopter pilot ain't just double casting. It's Emma's infected co-worker Zoe, who attacks them in a slow-motion fight that crashes the helicopter. Paul makes it out with nary a scratch, but unlucky Emma's leg is more than just broken. Heavily injured and still stuck in Hatchetfield, they realize their only hope of survival is killing the alien hive mind, which must be in that meteorite that crashed at the Starlight Theater. Paul arms himself with a bunch of grenades and goes for a first kiss with Emma. Yeah, maybe later then.
Yeah, maybe later.
At the Starlight Theater, Paul is confronted by his former co-workers, and also Emma's boss, whom he didn't really know.
That's right, Paul. All your best friends are here.
Being so close to the musical meteorite starts to take a toll on Paul, who can't help but loosen his belt.
Let it out, let it out.
Paul fighting his musical urges once
love
more
that.
reminds me of Rocky Horror, where a de-Medusa Brad Majors got his world rose tinted. The climactic number almost wins Paul over, but he manages to put a pin in the singing while pulling a pin out of his grenade belt, blowing up the space rock to Kingdom Company. A news broadcast from Clivesdale reveals the events of the musical have been blamed on a gas explosion. Luckily, not everyone is dead. Emma's managed to make it out and gets a new identity from the government. Even better, in true musical fashion, she gets a happy ending when Paul pops in to accompany her. Oh, that's nice. Why don't you tell her you love her, Paul?
But wait. Oh no.
Sorry, you
Uh-oh. Paul launches into a reprise, revealing he's been brought into the alien hive mind. Oh, I get it. He's the guy who didn't like musicals. Past tense. He likes them now. In a darkly comedic finale, the cast comes together to sing a medley of the show's music. You can hardly hear it, though, with Emma screaming in absolute terror the whole time.
So perfect.
She doesn't stop screaming, even into the curtain call. And the musical ends with Emma being dragged backstage to join the cast party. Did this Martian matinee deliver a show-stopping body count? Let's find out and get to the numbers, to the numbers, to the numbers. Hey, get to the numbers. To the numbers, to the numbers, to the numbers.
Oh, they got him! They got Alpha
Get to the numbers.
Oh my God!
Numbers, to the numbers, to the numbers.
Oh my God!
To the numbers, to the numbers.
Oh, I love it so much.
You know, being a sing-songy alien ain't all that bad. Sticking to our system, I counted 24 kills in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. The victims consisted of 15 men and 9 women, giving us this show-stopping pie chart. As far as who played the victims, John Madison only died once, while Lauren Lopez went on the count twice. I counted 3 kills each for characters played by Corey Doris, Mariah Rose Faith, Robert Mannion, and Joey Richter, while Jamie Lynn Beatty's characters were killed 4 times. Getting killed the most was Jeff Blinn, whom we counted as a kill on 5 separate occasions. Nice, dude. With a runtime of 113 minutes, we had to kill on average every 4.71 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Charlotte. Sure, we all knew she was toast the second she freed Sam, but that gut ripping was a very sudden jump in gore, especially for a live stage play.
Oh yeah.
Dog Machete for lamest kill will go to the first batch of infected townsfolk, since it happened off screen. Or off stage, sorry. And that's it. The guy who didn't like musicals was released in 2018 and was followed by 2 sequels. Black Friday, released in 2020, and Nerdy Prudes Must Die, which had its live run in LA earlier this year. Next week is the Blair Witch Project. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Hey everybody, thanks.
All right, yeah, that was an absolute blast. I love that he brought the cast in to do that whole bit there. It was so perfect. Everything about this musical was fantastic. I found myself having some of these songs just stuck in my head. I was just like humming it throughout the day after watching it. And that the way that ended too, because so many different like zombie related movies, you have somebody or a group of people get to somewhere and they think they're all fine, they're all okay, and then the story is just completely flipped because it's so infested with zombies, and that was clear here. I especially love the fact that they even continued it into the credits, into the curtain call where everyone's bowing and she's still freaking out, losing her mind. So good, so much fun. I can't recommend Team Starkid enough. Just fantastic. And I hope he does the sequels to those, because I really want to check those out as well. But that will do it for me here. Comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about the guy who didn't like musicals? Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Please check all those links I have for you down in the description below. And lastly, and most importantly, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Cruising, Wolverine 310, Kester Cronage, Amber K, Raymond Bright, Chris Curtis, Haley Machinardi, Ann Perry, Larka, Vox Cacophony, and Morgan Page. And I'll see you guys next time.